it's Carrie here. So I recently received an email from someone asking for some advice, and I feel like what she's going through is something that we all go through at various times, and so I asked her if it would be okay for me to share it. So this is the email that she sent in. She said, "Hi Carrie, I hope you're well. Your videos encourage me every day. When you were working on the first issue of the magazine, when it was just an idea and you did not have the support you needed, were there times when you got tired of it all? I am making progress, but there are a lot of people out there who don't want my idea to work, and I am struggling with how to work out figures for the media pack. I don't know how I'm going to get people to advertise when I have no clue how to work out circulation, readership figures, especially with the launch being online. I just feel so inadequate at times. Perhaps I can't do this. I have no funding, no job, no support friends or partner. I am just doing this all on my own." Whilst for her specifically, she's trying to launch a magazine, I feel like the things that she's going through are things that we all go through at different stages, no matter whether we're just about to launch a service or a product, or whether we're further down the line in our business and we've come up with another idea that we want to test out, or it could be anything. I think we all go through those times where we feel inadequate and where things just seem hopeless, or we just haven't got a clue what to do. Because I know that I have been through these situations so many times in the past. So before I even launched the magazine, there were times when I really did feel tired of it all and fed up and frustrated and felt like, what was I doing? What am I doing trying to launch a magazine? Am I crazy? These are the things that I was thinking all the time. And you know, there have been so many times when I felt really inadequate, where I just haven't had a clue what to do, and I can't help but think, why does everyone else have the answers and I don't? How does everyone else make progress quickly and I don't seem to be able to? And I think all of us have that internal voice and those feelings because we're all trying to push the boundaries. We're all trying to achieve big things or follow our dreams and make amazing things happen. And in order to do that, there are going to be so many times when you don't know what to do, and you've got to try and push through that and overcome it and overcome these feelings that make us feel like everything's hopeless and like we can't do it. So I want to share with you some steps that I take whenever I feel hopeless, whenever I feel fed up and frustrated with things. So the first step is this. Take a look back over your goals and reconnect yourself with why you're trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve. What is it that you're trying to do? What are your intentions? Get connected with that again. And then once you are connected, you need to start visualizing every single day, morning, night, and at times throughout the day when you remember. You need to start visualizing that goal as being reached, as being achieved. So before I actually launched the magazine, I used to vividly visualise the front covers of the magazine. I used to see those people, the people I wanted on the front covers really clearly. I used to imagine it every single day, multiple times throughout the day. It would be the last thing I would think of before I went to sleep at night, and it would be one of the first things I thought of in the morning when I woke up. I'd look at my vision board and I would see the mock-ups of the front covers like they were already published, like they were already out there. I remember I would actually imagine the feedback that I would be getting from people, like I was already getting that feedback, and I would imagine how it would feel when I would get that feedback. So you've got to start seeing it as done. You've got to start seeing it like you've already launched that product, you've already tested out that new idea, you've already done what it is that you want to do. Start seeing it as done. It is so powerful. It's something that I do all the time. The next thing is that you've got to be really committed to what you're doing. I can't tell you how many times I've come up with new ideas, set new goals for myself, and I thought I was committed, but then I realised that I wasn't. And I think Goethe said it right. He said, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. And it is so true. You know, when you set yourself a new goal, guaranteed obstacles pop up. It's just what happens. It happens to all of us. And if you aren't completely committed to that goal, when one of those obstacles pop up, you just feel like this hesitancy, and you kind of hesitate for a moment and you think, not really sure how I'm supposed to handle this or get past it, and so you draw back and you draw back, and instead of making the progress forward towards that goal, you end up hesitating and you don't really make any progress forward. And I have found this to be a problem for myself, and I realised that the way to commit is to set a deadline for yourself. So no matter what it is, like I said, whether you're launching a magazine, whether you're launching a product or a service, or whether there's just a goal that you want to reach, maybe it's that you want to get your website up online, you need to set yourself a deadline. I guarantee that if you set yourself a deadline to launch your product or do whatever, reach your goal within the next 30 days, you will make things happen fast, because you won't have a choice. If there are unknown factors, like you don't know what the right price to charge is, or you don't know what the right package to offer is, you're going to have to figure it out pretty quickly. And the truth is, there is no right or wrong answer. No one can give you a definitive answer on the right price to charge or the right package to put together. But the thing is, the faster you get started, the faster you put it out there, the faster you can figure out what the right package actually is. It's all just trial and error. So get started, set yourself a deadline, and fully commit yourself to your project, and then things will happen much faster. There won't be that hesitation anymore. You won't be able to draw back. And when you set your deadline, tell other people about it, because that will help you to feel more accountable. When I was about to launch my magazine, well, first off, I remember the plan was to launch in July, and I remember really starting to hesitate and thinking to myself, actually, I'm going to delay it to September so I can become more ready. I remember telling one of my mentors this, and he turned around to me and he said, "Carrie, launch the magazine now, just do it." And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so I launched it, but that really helped. But also, before I launched the magazine, I went out to my network and told them all that something really exciting was coming and when it was going to happen. And then I was like, I've got to make it happen now, because they all know about it. So I've got to actually pull it together fast and make it happen, because everyone knows about it. So commit, set your deadline, and tell other people about it. Another thing that I do whenever I feel really hopeless is I take a step back and I look at the bigger picture of life in general, life in the, things in the grand scheme of life, and it really helps me to change my perspective, because I find that it's so easy to get caught up and to make these teeny little problems all of a sudden become so blown out of proportion, and they seem massive, and you feel like you can't get past them. And when you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture of life, you realise how insignificant they are, how small they are, and that actually you really can make it past them. You really can overcome them. When I take a step back, I think about what I'm grateful about in life, what means a lot to me in life. The fact that I have my health, the fact that I have all my limbs, the fact that I know I've got a roof over my head and I can have food and water, and basic things, but we end up taking it for granted. But those things are so important. And I think when you get reconnected and you start focusing on what you've got to be grateful for, you start to change your perspective. I also think about what means the most to me. For me, I want to make a difference. I want to achieve big things. I want to follow my dreams. And when I take a look at the bigger picture, I just think, why would I give up on myself? Why would I give up on this stuff? Because it's too hard. Is it really too hard? Or can I do it? And I just think to myself, I can do it. I often end up thinking about this scenario that Michael Gove wrote about in the E-Myth, where he said, imagine walking into a room, and in the room, sat on the chairs, are your friends and family. And as you walk down the centre of the room, you see a box. And as you get to the front of the room, you realise that you're in the box, and it's your funeral. And he says, what do you want people to be saying about the kind of life that you lived, about the kind of person that you were, and about the kind of things that you achieved? And whenever I think about that, I just think, I can do it. This is my life to make something amazing happen. I am going to try my hardest to make this happen. This little problem here isn't going to hold me back anymore. This little issue, the fact that I don't have a clue on the pricing of something, isn't going to stop me. I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to make progress with this. So look at the big picture, because it can often help you to really change your perspective and pull you out of that situation where you just feel so stuck and you feel like everything's going wrong and you feel like all these problems are just blown way out of proportion. I recently watched an amazing video on YouTube, and in this video they said, we come to this world with nothing, and when we leave, we take nothing with us. You can't take your magazine, you can't take your business, you can't take your car, your house, your money, you can't take that stuff with you. And so it made me realise that all we have is the experiences that we can create for ourselves while we are here. And so for me, that made me realise that life is about experiencing things, learning, growing, developing myself as a person. It's about learning how to be the very best person you can be, learning how to live the very best life that you can live. That's what it's about. It's an adventure, it's fun, there are ups and downs, and that's all part of it. It all helps us to create amazing experiences for ourselves, to help us to learn how to become stronger, how to become better, how to become great people, how to achieve amazing things. And I just thought that that was such a great way of thinking about it. We don't take all this stuff with us. I mean, it's nice to work towards achieving and having those things and experiencing those things, but it's more about who we become as a person, who we become by achieving those things. That's what really, really counts. The thing is, we all have one life, and it's happening right now, so we have to make the most of it. And there's a motto that I live by, and I think that all of us should print it off and stick it somewhere where we can see it every day, and that is that we get to choose how we respond to the situations we're faced with. So every day, ask yourself, how am I going to choose to respond to the situations today? And then when you look at things, when you have issues come up, when you face challenges or you have problems or there are things that you don't have a clue how to solve, look at it and think, how am I going to choose to respond to this? If you've got people around you who don't believe in you, then you can either look at it and think, this is really hard, I don't know what to do, and you can let it stop you, or you can think, you can realise this is a really tough situation, but then you can choose to see the best of that situation and think, well, that actually must be lots and lots of people out there who would believe in me, who would support me, who would think that I've got a great idea. I just need to find them. So what can I do right now to go and find those people? What networking events can I go to? What groups can I join? Or maybe if it's the fact that you don't know what the right price to charge is, you've got two choices of how you view to respond to that situation. Do you think, I don't know what the right price to charge is, everything feels hopeless and I'm struggling, I don't know what to do, and do you get stuck in that mindset? Or do you think to yourself, do you acknowledge the fact that you don't really have a clue and then think, this is an adventure, I don't know what the right price to charge is, but I'm going to ask this many people for their opinions, and then I'm going to pick the best figure that I think will work, and I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to try it out. And yeah, I might make a mistake and it might not work out, but I can fix it as I'm going along. How do you choose to respond to the situations you're faced with every day? And ask yourself that. Today, how am I going to choose to respond? And yeah, I'm sure that some days we're going to have really rubbish days where we're going to choose to respond and make bad decisions, because that's just human nature. But if you can stay aware of the fact that you get to choose how you respond, it can be so powerful, because the truth is, how you choose to respond is going to determine how amazing your future can be and the things that you will experience, and that is so important. So those are the things that really help me whenever I'm feeling hopeless, whenever I get in situations where I don't have a clue what I'm supposed to be doing. Those things really, really help me, and I hope they help you too. So if you have any advice on this topic and any things that have really helped you when you've been feeling hopeless, please leave a comment on the blog and share your thoughts, and I will see you next time.